How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We have a big moment coming this coming week. We have just an unbelievable amount of Bitcoin being bought by the ETFs. Yesterday was the best day of the week, and I think we could see Bitcoin break all-time highs fairly soon with this kind of purchasing power. We also have some really important economic data coming up, and this is where the market could change drastically. I know some people have been saying oh, the crypto market sucks recently. And it's funny because, Bitcoin's done extremely well. A handful of alts, the big altcoins have done extremely well. But this is where it could change, where a lot of people start coming into crypto because it doesn't suck. It's going to be really interesting. We also have just a really big shift happening because of the Fed cutting rates. And I think a lot of retail investors might not really be understanding what's happening, but I want to walk you through it, along with why a lot of people are thinking, maybe I don't want to sell Bitcoin ever. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also, if you want to trade, check out BYDefi underneath the video. We actually have a connection to someone that works directly with them, kind of works at BYDefi/with them. And you can get access to them through the Telegram. If you're someone that trades a lot, or you want to make sure that you're signed up underneath me, you can check out the Telegram underneath the video as well. We have 1,800 people in there. But yeah, sign up now. There's a $13,000 trading bonus going on right now for 5 more days. And there's going to be more of them in the future. So you might as well get some free money. Now, Bitcoin sitting at 122,000. It's funny how we are so close to all-time highs, up 8x from the bottom or something like that, 7x. And some people are still saying crypto sucks and crypto's boring. But we have been trading around kind of sideways recently for a long time without breaking to new all-time highs. So I kind of understand why some people might say that without really looking at the charts, because Bitcoin's gone from 16,500 to 122,000 in 3 years. So it's been explosive. I think this could change in the sense that I think we could break out here fairly soon. We had the Bitcoin ETFs buy $3.2 billion of Bitcoin last week. Just yesterday, they bought nearly $1 billion, and we have hundreds of millions going into Ethereum as well. We have been hearing that altcoin ETFs might get approved soon. I've talked about this before, but I think only the large altcoins will probably get significant inflows. Other altcoins, I think, just aren't going to see the institutional demand, but some of the larger ones like XRP, Solana, Chainlink, those types of cryptos, I think, could see some pretty good deposits. And once staking becomes available, I think it'll be very interesting for a lot of institutional investors too. But just this buying pressure on Bitcoin will send us up to new highs if we continue to see billions of dollars bought. And then we could see a FOMO season, right? If everyone's looking at their P&Ls for the year, and some have invested in Bitcoin, some haven't, and we're up, if we're up 50% year to date, yeah, there are going to be some investors that have to throw it on the books for the end of the year. So I think it could be a very interesting time. At the same time, at the same time that's happening, we have the Fed cutting rates. And this makes it really attractive to invest in Bitcoin and risk on assets. One way to think about it is there were a lot of investors, obviously, that big investors that had treasury bonds or, government savings accounts that were paying 4%. There's a possibility that we could actually see rates raised. Some people were pushing for that. It wasn't out of the realm of possibility. Maybe it was only, a 5% chance, but there were some people that were calling for it, wanting it to happen. So they were getting 4%, thinking that soon they would get 5%. Okay, so instead of getting 5%, now they're going to get 3% here after the next couple meetings, assuming the Fed continues cutting rates. So that's a huge difference. If you have 20% of your portfolio in something yielding 5% versus 3%, if you're talking about, tens of millions of dollars, that makes it much more attractive to go risk on, right? And that's just part of it, right? Part of it is too that we're just going to see more reinvestment in businesses because of the lower interest rates. We're going to see more spending. We're going to see higher earnings, that kind of thing. So I think a lot of people are just discounting that, how big the Fed is, for the markets. And we have CPI and PPI coming out not next week, but the week after. Next week is kind of the last week before the earnings season as well. We have bank earnings the week after. Of course, some companies are reporting earnings, but we have bank earnings, and then we start to see tech earnings. And if AI spend is still strong, if companies are growing, maybe you get rid of the last shred of bears out there. I'm not sure. I think the stock market is more bullish than the crypto market even. Like, there are more people that are bullish on the market, and maybe a little bit less worried. Keep in mind that, like, typically Bitcoin and crypto top out this quarter. So there's some people that are naturally like taking profits and a little bit more cautious. But once that flips to where people are like, hey, we're never going to sell, and Bitcoin's going to go up forever, and so will altcoins, that's when we might be at the top. Now, I don't think Bitcoin's going to go through a crash like we've seen in the past, to be clear. I think there's a lot of reason to think that we'll continue to see inflows, but we could still see 30% corrections. We've actually seen a decent number of 20-30% pullbacks on Bitcoin, and even more than that on altcoins. We've seen a decent number of those throughout the bull run. With that in mind, I think there's a growing number of people, though, that are thinking, I don't ever really want to sell Bitcoin. Like, for me, I have grown a portfolio outside of crypto, so I don't really need the gains from my Bitcoin. And let's say you're someone that has Bitcoin and Bitcoin's $200,000. Let's say you're in a high tax bracket, even on capital gains, right? So maybe you have to pay 20% of your gains. Let's say you're someone that bought it at a really low cost basis. So basically, like, let's say you have to pay 20% of that $200,000 if you sell a coin, right? And I know that's not exactly how it works, because your cost basis can't be zero, but let's say it's really low, right? Okay, you sell. You have to pay 20% tax. So that means you have to buy back under 160, right? Who's to say that we don't go up first? Sorry, just doing something with the Bitcoin baby real quick. Who's to say that we don't go up 20% before we fall down 30%? So if we go up 20%, we go up to 240, and let's say we fall down 30%, right? You would still lose money in that scenario, and you'd risk losing out on Bitcoin's upside, right? And what are you going to invest in the meantime? Are you going to throw it in a 2% savings account, 3% savings account, pay taxes, and then just pray that it falls down? Especially if you think this asset's going to go up to $1 million. So I think there's a growing number of people that are just thinking, I'm not ever going to sell. There's nothing better to put my money into. And as Bitcoin goes up, more and more people will be able to invest in it because certain compliance departments haven't approved it yet. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how people take profits. Let me know how you're going to take profits down below in the comment section. We're actually just talking about this in the Telegram the other day. And actually, I need to jump in there because I didn't hear everyone's thoughts on it. But I gave some of my thoughts on how I'm going to take profits. I've talked about it on the channel too. But let me know your thoughts. Again, you can check out BYDFi or BTCC or BitUNIX WEEX BLOFIN underneath the video. I've got a baby to attend to. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.